A boy in New York, a 16-year-old who was allegedly filmed attacking a New York PD cop, asked if he could press charges during a court appearance this week.
Oh, this is good.
The boy was released only days earlier following a previous robbery where he and 3 others stole a man's cell phone. New York City Mayor Eric Adams has spoken out about the case, calling his city a laughingstock at a press conference due to incidents like this. Footage shows the boy battering the officer with numerous blows before putting him in a chokehold. The boy was again released by the court less than 24 hours thanks to lax bail laws in New York City.
Wow.
So this teen was accused of a robbery. He was put back out on the street. He then attacked a New York cop on a subway platform, and he also was turned back out on the street almost immediately. He's 16, and he's not being named due to his age. He asked the judge if he could file suit against the copper.
Wow.
So, I mean, this is where we are, folks.
Real good system we
and
got here.
And it's not a country you can take seriously, to continue that theme.
Where is that secret room where all of these decisions are being made?
That's a good question. I'm beginning to think there is one. There's some wizard behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. I mean,
have you guys seen the video, by the way?
I wouldn't want to go to New York. I have family members all excited because they're all going to New York next week. They're going to see the Mets. They're going to do this. You're going to walk around here. You're going to do that.
Walk around like total rubes.
They poo-poo me when I tell them to be super vigilant, to be hyper vigilant. They poo-poo me.
Yeah.
And they'll be taking a train, the subways or whatever, to get to the ballpark to see the Mets game. They'll be taking subways all the time they're there. They'll be on subway platforms.
I'm accused often of being too cynical of the population.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you can't be cynical enough.
I agree completely.
Well, yeah, the cop's kid that got the crap beat out of him in front of the 90s last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just hyper-focused on who's pulling the strings here. Why are we being led this way on so many different angles? And then you read something like we're seeing this week that China's buying up all the farms in North Dakota.
They just bought a bleep load in North Dakota.
And
acreage.
You're wondering, what in the hell? Who's doing this? Who's running this? I've read too many novels, too many spy novels. Oh.
I just finished a novel called Razorblade Tears. The author's name escapes me. Would you look it up, please? Razorblade Tears. It was recommended to me by a kid I used to have, who's a fairly bright bulb. So I was fairly disappointed in this book.
S.A. Cosby?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I started the book, I gave her some grief, saying, "This is stereotype, man. This is all cliches." And then the more I got into it, it was one of the most unparalleled tales of revenge I've ever read. And it's a black guy and a white guy who unite to take on evildoers in rural Virginia who were responsible for the murder of the black guy's son and the white guy's son, both of whom were gay and married. And, of course, the black guy and the white guy couldn't stand the fact that their sons were gay and got married and paid no attention to them during their life alive. But then when they were both murdered and realized the police weren't doing much about it, they teamed up together. And the cliche part is they became best buddies, all that. But it became a page turner. It became a page turner.
It's a very clever premise. I love it.
And they became understanding of many of the modern dynamics we're discussing. Gender identity, for example. And it doesn't go over the top when it comes to gender identity, but and then it ends up involving a transgender person who was at the heart of why the two guys were killed. And these two guys, the black guy and the white guy, you don't want to cross them. You just don't want to cross them as they go off on their not adventure, that's too kind of a word. As they go off on their spree to exact vengeance for who brought this about, it is, all I can tell you is it's a page turner.